Welcome back to OpenLine, talking with Dyan Damron, health and wellness weight loss coach. Giving us all kinds of advice on the season, tailgating, Halloween, all the things that can harm us, but that are great. But some good advice. Seasonal flavors, all right, that's another one. Everything's going to be pumpkin spice, pumpkin coffee, pumpkin this, that. Is there a problem?
Yeah, and I think yesterday was like the official launch of the PSL, the pumpkin spice latte, which everybody was waiting for.
So that was yesterday, okay,
yeah,
pumpkin spice latte.
I think it gets earlier. It's like the school year, like it gets earlier and earlier every single year, I think. But it can be loaded, anything pumpkin spice, whatever, can be loaded with sugar. And it's funny because, whenever you go to like these coffee shops and things, usually your typical lattes, whatever kind of flavors, are, at a standard rate of fat and calories, but any type of holiday spices, it just pumps it up a level of especially fat and calories. And for example, nutritionists would recommend about 16 to 20 grams of sugar per day, and 12 grams for kids. But a Starbucks pumpkin spice latte, a grande, has 49 grams of sugar.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So you're supposed to get 16, and that has 49?
Yeah.
Just the little coffee?
Yeah.
Or the grande or whatever.
Yeah, because you have to think about pumps, and the thing you can definitely, it's sort of like when you're ordering from a restaurant, you can customize your order at Starbucks. The pumps that they do, whenever you see them go and pump the flavor into it, just one pump of flavored syrup has about 5 to 10 grams of sugar, and holiday flavors are the higher level of that. And a grande has 4 pumps, so you're automatically each pump you're getting about 8-ish grams of sugar. So instead of saying just get a tall and say I just want 1 pump, like hold the pumps. And so you can certainly customize those orders. A salted caramel mocha, which I think is pretty big too, that has 56 grams of sugar.
Really?
And 430 calories. So just, again, be mindful. I'm not saying you can't enjoy some of these flavors of fall, but just like with tailgating, just be mindful and aware and knowledgeable of how to avoid them every single day. I mean, if you were to go and get a pumpkin spice latte every single day, by the time we get to the end of the pumpkin spice season, you're going to have gained a few
I mean, you're going to be huge.
Well, and even like say a pumpkin scone, for example. A pumpkin scone from Starbucks has 480 calories and 43 grams of sugar. So if you were to have, say you got your pumpkin spice latte and your pumpkin scone, you will have nearly 100 grams of sugar in just your little breakfast or snack or whatever you're having.
And that other thing that is so important, I mean, you said there's a level for adults and kids. I think you said adults is 16 to 20 grams per day. Kids is 12.
12, yeah.
And there's cereals that have 12.
Oh yeah. All the sugar, actually, the sugar is highest in cereals that are promoted towards children. And that is added sugar. So always promote the healthier sugars, like we talked about with seasonal apples and sweet potatoes and the produce, the sugars, the natural sugars. This is just added. Those 16 to 20 grams is added sugar.
Let's go to Beth. Hello, Beth.
Hi.
Hi, what's on your mind?
So I heard you guys talking about Starbucks, and I mean, I go there like every day, and I usually get some sort of flavored coffee, but I really like honey, and is honey a good substitute instead? I heard like honey has a lot of sugar in it.
Well, yes, and I love honey and anything that is unprocessed, and anytime you can get local honey is even better, because it will kind of help with allergies, seasonal allergies and things like that because of the local pollen. So if you can go to a farmer's market and load up on honey, and honey is one of the only foods that never goes bad. So you can store it for a long time. Honey and maple syrup and agave are some of the sweeteners that I really like to use because they are unprocessed. They're natural sugars. They're not processed like white sugar, brown sugar, things like that. So, and you're going to get about the same amount of, the only thing, agave has a little more sweetness, so you can actually use less. But a sugar is a sugar, so you're going to have the same basic calories, but it is a little bit better for you. And also, those especially maple syrup and honey. And you want it maple. This is not pancake syrup. You want to get real maple syrup. They're flavored. So again, it's sort of like with the cheese or with the chocolate. Anything that has a little flavor into it, I feel like bumps up everything a little bit. You can use a little bit of maple syrup or a little bit of honey, and honey's kind of got that floral sweetness where I feel like it adds something instead of just sweetness.
Right. So honey is a good option.
Yes.
Put it in your tea.
Yes, and tea.
Yeah.
And the good thing too is some of the liquid is you can use it in maybe a colder application and stir it, and it will, a colder drink, and instead of having sugar, because it won't dissolve in like iced tea or something like that. So yeah, I'm a big proponent of honey.
Yes, and thank you, Beth, for that question. Good time to go to the farmer's market, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And what are the things that are in season, and why is this a good time?
I think you always, again, I think it's great for families to go, for kids to understand where food comes from, and shopping locally whenever you can. But when you think about fall produce, think about fall colors, the oranges and the greens, sweet potatoes, cabbages, all your greens are really going to be in season in the fall and the winter. All the gourds, I love butternut squash or any type of pumpkins. I usually will buy, like the real pumpkin, I'll buy from a can. I'm not going to go through all that process, but some of your other gourds, that can easily be baked squashes and things like that. And apples, of course, you can. Honeycrisp apples have a very short window, and they're going to be really good here in the fall. So just think fall flavors and go and explore that. And what I also think is great about eating seasonally is not only is it the tastiest now because it's in season and it hasn't probably been flown from some other country, it's going to be cheapest. So you learn how to, as a family, and you teach your kids, how to eat seasonally, where food comes from and why it tastes so good and why it's cheaper to buy from a farmer's market or a fruit stand or wherever it happens to be, or growing your own if you can.
Right. That is important to teach kids. 30 seconds, I think. All right, time change. What's your advice for time change in 30 seconds?
When you gain an hour, we're going to fall back. Use that hour to do something healthy with your family. Get out, exercise, rake leaves, do something healthy. Don't just sleep. Right.
Okay. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap everything up. Be back right after this.